Okay, so we have plenty of holiday decorations here, but this one right here is your painting. Why don't you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about your painting?
Okay, so this painting is called Flaming Pots. So I tend to paint. I don't, I find it very difficult to come up with names for my paintings, and I'm sure I'm not the only artist that has that problem. So, I decided I don't normally do reds, so I decided to do a red piece, and but I had to also make sure that the colors that I was working with complemented each other. So in this particular case, I went with the browns and whites, and I see some purples in here, and it was just one of those things. This is an abstract piece, so I just basically let my you know
Creative
let it just
imagination.
flow. It just I didn't really I didn't really think about what I was doing. I just did it. I wanted to do something that is almost a statement piece, and is, I mean, based on the red color, because red is very in your face, and that's what this is. But it also complements the browns and the even though it's very bold. The browns and the yellows and whites just make it just kind of, I like subtle things too, and you'll see that in my other paintings, the subtleness of the pieces that I paint.
And was there an inspiration behind this particular
No,
one?
this one was just
You just felt red.
actually, this was a red thing. I just decided I hadn't done a red piece, so I was like, let's do. Actually, that's not true. I've done a couple of red pieces, but I was feeling this type of red on the day that I did it. So it was just, I was mixing paint and decided I wanted something different, and this is very different for me. So.
This is an amazing piece. Why don't you talk a little bit about this?
Okay. This came to being on a Saturday morning, and this was after I came back from a trip to Europe. My first weekend back, I woke up one morning on a Saturday morning, and I was like, it's time, we need fine art. And I went down to my studio, and I knew I had to paint. I was painting a lady, so I started with this painting and with the outline of the painting, and I was fine when I just did black and white. It was I actually was in love with my pencil drawing when I did this, and my problem started when I added paint.
Oh, okay.
I was mortified. I was mortified. I remember calling one of the Onyx members, and I showed her, and she said, "Oh, you need some work on that." And I was like, "Don't talk to her anymore. I'm done." So I went and laid down for a little bit with this one, and then I came back, and it was almost like I got it. I mean, I have photos of stages on this. It went through a lot of stages, but the most that I enjoyed about this was when I started working on the hair, and I did a lot of research, because black hair,
Okay.
it's just at
Get a
another
close-up
level.
of her hair.
It's just at another level. So I spent a lot of time on the hair, and I enjoyed the process because
And so what is it titled?
this title is called Sing Joy.
Sing Joy.
Yes.
Okay, you can see that in our
And it's all, I mean, it's just the energy that I felt at the time, and I wanted positive energy on this one. So that's why I painted this, and I enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed painting. This title is called Freedom Hibiscus, and this has a story. They all have stories.
Oh, they should all have stories. You're an
has a
artist.
story.
Okay.
Okay, so Evelyn and I went to the Martin Luther King Jr. 50-year anniversary of the March on Washington. I believe that was last year. So we went to DC, and we were, very, energized. And anyway, so we decided after, hanging out there for a while, to go get something to eat. And in the process of doing that, we passed a government building in DC, and I cannot remember the name of the building, but there was a security guard. I saw these beautiful hibiscus plants, and I'm a flower person. I was totally taken by it. So I wanted to take a picture, but the security guard kept coming up to me and saying, "Ma'am, you can't. Please get off the lawn. This is government property." So I said, "All I want to do is take a picture." And so, but he kept, staring at me, and he kept coming back to me and saying, "Please get off the lawn." I said, "I'm not on the lawn." I said, "I am within my bounds, and I just want to take pictures." And so I gave him a quick once over to make sure he didn't have a gun. So he didn't. And I said, I'm a taxpayer. I will take a picture. So I leaned in and I got my picture, and I told Evelyn, I'm painting this.
Oh wow! So the hibiscus was actually
this was it. So we had some fun with this one.
It's very pretty.
Thank you.
Very pretty. So are there any parting words that you have for wannabe artists?
Do it.
Do it. Okay.
Just do it. It sounds, like a cliche, but it really isn't. Whatever is in your heart, you do it. Just do it. It doesn't matter what other people think. It's not about that. It's about you expressing yourself by the art that is in you. So I would just say do it. Don't be concerned about selling or what other people think about your art. It is not. That's not important. Just get it up. Just get it out there. Just get it out of you first, and then get you can get help from other people, but you need to start somewhere. Just do it.
I am with Nicole Fisher now. She too is a member of the Onyx Group. Hi Nicole, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Okay, so how did you get involved with the Onyx Group?
So we were all members of another art group, and one day we just decided we kind of wanted to do our own thing and put on our own shows, and so we had one meeting together, and from there blossomed a multitude of ideas as to how we could do that.
Okay. So have you always been an artist, or are you new to this as well as some of the other people I've talked with?
So I am a full-time teacher.
Oh, you're a full-time teacher. Okay, well, congrats.
And I've been an artist my whole life, but I kind of put it on the back burner for the 23 years that I've been teaching. And then 3 years ago, I decided that I missed it and I needed it in my life. And so I started doing it again. And it's been an amazing journey.
So you got back into it during the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
I think all of us were kind of going through some things during the pandemic. And so it just gave you the impetus and the encouragement you need just to get back and do it, right?
I actually, it kind of ties in with my career. My students had gotten me a gift card that year of 2020. And it was enough that I could buy an easel. And so that's what I bought. And that was kind of the beginning of my art journey again.
Oh, okay. So how many, I asked one, how many canvases they had. They said dozens. Do you have dozens of canvases in your home as well?
I have dozens of canvases in my house. I have a storage unit that has
you have a storage unit?
that now has canvas in it as well.
Okay.
I'm running out of space.
Oh, you're running out of space. Okay. Yeah. So how many pieces do you have at this particular exhibit for Onyx?
In this show, I have 28 pieces.
Oh, you have 28 pieces. Okay,
yeah.
I know we're going to see one. Are there other things that you would say right now to motivate people to maybe that are interested in they may have an artistic streak, or they've been thinking about becoming an artist? Are there things that you would tell them right now that they should do if they want to follow their dream about being an artist?
I would say just try it.
Okay.
Experiment. I'm an abstract artist, and so that's all about experimentation. And I know I'd also say take a class. Many of the members of Onyx Art Group teach classes, and so it's an awesome way to kind of just get your foot in the door and try out new things. And even as an artist, I go to classes and try out new things. So.
Okay, so let's take a look at your piece that's in this room. All right, Nicole. So this is what you call authentic bravery. Can you tell me a little bit about this particular piece?
So this piece is actually from a series of pieces that I did about being a woman and what that all entails. And one of the things that I think as women we have to do is be brave. Be brave in our careers, be brave with our lives and with our families and with our choices in life. And so this piece was all about that. So even in here, you'll see embedded words like take a risk and go for it, because I want to encourage people to.
Oh, I see that. I see that. It says take a risk.
People to, jump outside themselves in kind of the same way that I jumped outside of, that hiatus of being a teacher and then deciding I wanted to do my art.
And is this a mixed media piece?
This is mixed media.
And what are the elements that you're using in this piece?
So in mixed media, I have acrylic inks that are in here. I have some actual textured paper, as well as regular acrylic paint. I use a lot of stencils in my work to kind of create some of that background texture. And I also build up the before I even put any of the other paint on the canvas.
So do you teach art or do you teach something else?
I teach third grade.
Oh, you teach third grade. Okay.
I do.
So this art is just an outgrowth of things you like.
Yeah, I've always been an artist. I love doing art even since I was a little kid. I was that kid who needed the box of 96 crayons with the sharpener on the back. And my dad actually built my first easel for me, and I had a drafting table in my bedroom as a child. So art has always been a part of me.
These two pieces, Nicole, can you tell us a little bit about this? This is a diptych, correct?
So it's actually not a diptych.
Okay, so there's just two separate
They're two separate pieces that are a part of the same collection.
Okay.
So I decided I wanted to try out and do a little bit more experimentation, and I wanted to do that on paper this time instead of on canvas. So this whole collection that I've done is on paper. Still using the same techniques, using stencils and acrylic inks and mixed media using papers. And it was inspired by the colors of the holidays, because it's a huge thing for me. I love Christmas time with my family.
Oh, okay.
And then also got some inspiration for the color choices when I went downtown and saw the Alma Thomas exhibit, and there was a piece in there that inspired some of the colors that are here as well. So.
Okay, I am here with another member of Onyx. Her name is Akun Otoyo. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'd like to say I'm a work in progress when it comes to art. I've always appreciated artistic expression, and so I decided that I wanted to start drawing or doing something in the art realm when I retire. So I'm trying to set myself up. And plus, it's therapeutic. It's a great place for me, or space for myself. And I'm learning. I was born in Nigeria. I've traveled a lot. So I've seen culture and the colors and the different forms of art, and just, I appreciate it, and I want to become an artist.
Oh, you want to become an artist. So you're becoming, as Michelle Obama would say.
Yes, I'm becoming.
Oh, that's great. So what brought you to Onyx?
Onyx, well, I initially started off as part of PWAS, and then...
And what, for our viewers who don't know what PWAS is, can you let us know?
Sure. Prince William Art Association.
Okay, and you guys are based here in Prince William County, Virginia.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, we are. And so this is kind of a select few that decided to form the Onyx Group, and I was included in this group. So that's how we've come about, or how I am part of this group, and it's just one of the best things that's happened to me.
Oh, Okay. And how long has the group been in existence now again?
I'd say about a year or
Okay.
Well, actually, it's not even been a year. It's
Okay.
just about. We're getting there.
Okay. So you guys have big plans then.
Yes, we do. Yes,
Okay.
we do. We're
So since you're
visionaries.
becoming an artist, what are some of the things that you like to work on before we go and take a look at some of your work?
Okay, so I've been dabbling in batik, which is
Okay.
a different medium. Batik is a wax resist dyeing process, and it is I use fabric or muslin fabric, that's what it's called, and dyes. And so I get my colors, I paint my figures on this fabric and with the use of the wax. I also use, or just started working with jinwashi paper, which is watercolors on rice
And how do you
paper.
pronounce that again?
Jinwashi.
Jinwashi. Is that like Asian name?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is rice paper.
Oh, it's rice paper. Okay, break it down, break it down.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is rice paper. So
Okay.
it's grainy
Okay.
on one side, and the other side is very smooth. And so, of course, the smooth side is the side that I draw on, and the side that I paint. And I use watercolors for that. So we have pretty much the same process with the dye, with the wax.
Mm-hmm.
However, I am using dye for one on the fabric, and then I'm using watercolor on the rice paper.
And so what made you want to do batiks?
I wanted to get started with something, with
Okay.
art. And so I lived in Japan for about several years,
Oh,
and
okay.
a friend of mine who was an art teacher, she introduced me to batik. And so I found it really interesting. It is a process. It takes time and patience because you have to let the dyes or the colors dry, and then you have to come back to it. But I really enjoyed that, seeing the process. And then there's this element of surprise that you get with batik. You're not always going to get what you may have in your mind, but you have to be open to that.
Okay. What is this painting of yours, or a batik? It's a frame batik, correct?
Yes, it is. So this in particular, these are my seagulls, and this medium is the watercolor on jinwashi paper. It's a lot of layering, and you're building with your colors. So that's how you're getting some of the tonal gradations, the whites and, the different colors here. But it is the layering of the colors, then dipping it in dye to preserve the colors that I want to keep lighter. And then you're building your colors, even though it may be the same blue, but you're getting different tones of the blue.
So can you just describe the process really quick again?
Okay, I sure can. So I'll have my drawing on the jinwashi paper.
Okay, you have your drawing on the paper.
Yes. And so let's just say I have these whites here.
Mm-hmm.
You see these white colors. So what I'll do is I'll get the wax and I'll paint the whites and it takes some thought as to where I want to highlight and bring light to
Mm-hmm.
a figure. So I'll put wax here to preserve that color.
Okay.
Then I will let that dry, of course, and then I will bring a light blue, and I'll put the blue wherever I want that light blue to be. So you'll see blue here, light blue here, light blue here, and paint that area, and then I'll let it dry. And then because I want it to stay that light blue, I will then add wax to it to hold it. So the wax holds the colors, kind of like freezes the colors. And then if I want to get a darker tone, I go back over with blue again, or I might mix it. And so I'm building my colors.
Okay. Okay, so basically then it's several steps in the process,
Yes.
and then before you're dipping the painting, it has wax on the colors you don't want to change.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And what is this one called again?
This one is called Seagulls.
Seagulls,
And this is
okay.
a watercolor on jinwashi.
Well, for the audience, on camera it does not do this justice. The detail is just amazing, And I just, I think it's just a lovely picture. I was trying to get a close-up of some of the detail, but it is just amazing what you've done here.
Thank you.
And you have some other pieces in the other room, correct?
I do.
Okay, let's take a look at those. Okay, Akun, we had some new paintings over here that were coming in the next room. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this batik?
So this is the muslin. This is the fabric. This is dyed on fabric, as opposed to the watercolors. So these are all dyed colors, and it's the same process. The difference here is that I drew my figures using wax. If you notice the white area, that's wax in order to draw.
And
my
you're
figures.
actually drawing the figures, and
Yes.
then you're putting wax on top of
Putting
it.
wax on. Well, I'm using the wax to draw my figures.
Okay.
Yes, yes. And then I have my colors that I'll put in there.
And what is this one titled?
This one is called Maiden Hair.
Okay, so these are ginkgo leaves then, actually.
Yes, they are.
And what was the inspiration behind this?
I just love ginkgo leaves. I really do. They're a beautiful leaf or plant, and if you ever look it up. And so I just came up with my own creation of what I wanted a ginkgo leaf to look like.
Okay, and what is this one down
This
here?
one is my Daisy Days. This is just a daisy. I love my daisy. Daisies bring me happiness, and then the green background. And when you see these crinkles, this is a crinkling effect where once I'm done with my pictures, I didn't mention this, but once I'm done with my pictures, I will cover the entire piece with wax. And then once it's kind of dry, what have you, I will crumble that entire piece and then dip it in a color, which my color was green.
Oh, wow.
So that's an additional process that gives you that batik look.
Okay, so this one is Diamonds in the Rough. Can you tell us a little bit about this one?
This one, I just, I felt like doing diamonds. I felt like doing some geometric shapes, and I came up with this, and then this background just really inspired the name. So you see your diamonds, and then they're in the rough. And again, it's that crinkling effect. I also just put a little touch of yellow just to kind of give a little contrast to it. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking some time. Your work is beautiful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so what is the name of this one?
This
Akon?
one is passion fruit.
Okay, passion fruit.
I like the colors that remind me of passion fruit. Whatever I feel is how I name my pictures.
Okay.
Immediately. So this one is the batik, and this is on the muslin fabric, and my dyeing and layering, and eventually crinkling it up, and I'm getting my back. You see the crinkles in the background. And this one took time in layering and getting the depth, which was very important, the dark and the light. So this was a very special piece for me.